Hi, this is the help video for Access Chapter 3, the Prepare Case, Step A, or Part A, beginning with Step number 9. So we'll do 9 through the end of the assignment. Okay, so all tables added to a query should be connected by relationships and have a common field. We talked about that before. That's how we can look at information from multiple tables, is to have that common field. The staff would like to see all services scheduled for an employee. So using query design, create a query that returns employee first name, employee last name from table employee, and service, date of service, and customer from table schedule. Auto fit and save and close. Okay, so this is on page, let's see here, 178, 179. But before we actually start, I want to come up here, and this is how you would make sure that you could actually create this query, that a relationship exists. Remember, we go to Database Tools, Relationships, to see the relationships between tables. So we're trying to pull information from the employee table and schedule. So let's look at employee and schedule, and sure enough, they are connected, directly connected, through the employee number, right? The employee ID. So we know this is going to work. All right, so let's go back and create it. So we're going to do create in query design, and now I need to put 2 tables in here because I want stuff from employee, and I want, where am I at? Stuff from employee and fields from service. So wait, from schedule. So let's go ahead and double click on employee and double click on schedule. Once I bring those in, I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to open these up so I can see the fields. I'm going to bring my grid up so it's not so far away. And we can see there is a line drawn between here, one-to-many relationships. So an employee could have many schedules, many appointments scheduled, right? Which would make sense. You wouldn't want an employee that could only have one appointment. So let's go ahead and look at what we need to do here. Employee first name, employee last name. First name, last name from employee. Got that done. Service, date of appointment, and customer. So service, double click. So we went over to the table schedule, date of appointment, and customer. Whoops, double click on customer. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 from employee and 3 from schedule. So if I run this, I will be able to see for each employee what services they have scheduled. I'm going to select this middle button to select all, double click between any field, and it's going to auto fit, right? Because it says auto fit. So I think we're done with that. So we're going to save it. QRY employee schedule. Okay. Save and close the query. So we are done with step 9. All right, let's look at step 10. The multiplier effect occurs when tables are added to a query with no relationship, resulting in bad results. Okay, so let's take a look in the book where that is. Okay, so we're on 179 to 180. So 179 to 180. So let's take a look at this query that already exists. So I'm going to open up Query Customer Phone in Design View. And so right here, there's a big flag showing for me. And that is that there is no line here, that there is no direct relationship between product and customer. So that's going to be a problem. If I run this, look, so for every customer, I'm going to get the product. So it's going to multiply, right? Because it can't connect them in any. So I have 650. We know that's not right. So we need to figure out a way to fix that, right? So so if we look at the fields that are here, we've got customer information, then we've got this product description. Well, that doesn't really fit in with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this product description. So I'm going to click, I'm going to bring my mouse to a little box above it. It's like a little rectangle. Boom, it gets a down arrow. Click, and then I'm going to right click, and I am going to cut it out. Then I'm going to come up here to my table here. I'm going to right click and remove that table. So now I just have fields from my table customer. If I run it, there's my customer information, 26. I know that that is correct. So we're going to go ahead and save this under this same name because now it's corrected, and close it, right? So anytime you get that, anytime you're building a query and there's no lines, you know you're going to get that multiplier effect and you're going to get bad data. So you need to step back and think, do I really need this? What's the deal going on here? All right, so step number 11, sorting records in a table may make it easier to find a particular record. So we're going to open up table product, right? So there's our table product. And if we want to sort it by category, we can just click right here and do sort A to Z. And this is just temporarily rearranging for view. It doesn't have anything to do with how it's actually stored in the table. It's just how we're viewing it, right? So we sorted it by category. So now we can see all of our products that are bath, body, face, foot, and house brand. We're going to go ahead and save that and close it. Once again, it doesn't have anything to do with how the data is physically stored. It's just how it's represented to the screen. So we're done with 11. That was on page 181. All right, step 12, sorting data with queries provides you more control and allows you to easily sort by multiple fields, and that is true. So the one thing that you want to remember is that when you're putting fields on the grid and then you're sorting, it'll sort from the left on the grid to the right. So let's go ahead and see what we need to do. Using query design, create a query that returns employee last name, employee first name, and employee phone number, maybe, from table employee, and date of appointment, date of service, and customer from the table schedule, right? So that's going to be our first thing. We'll get that done. We make sure it's working, and then we can move on. And that's one of the things with these queries is you build them in little phases, right? So you get so far, you run it, you make sure you don't have mistakes. You move on, you run it again. That way you don't get to the end, you find out you have an error, and you don't know if it's like at the beginning or whatever. So that's my process. So we're going to create a query in design view. The first thing we need to do is identify the two tables, right? So it's table employee and table schedule. So double click on employee, double click on schedule. There's a line that connects them, so I know I'm good. There's a relationship between employee and schedule. Now I can start putting my fields. So employee last name, first name, and phone number, and then date of appointment, service, and customer, right? So kind of cool. So I'm going to run it, right? So I'm going to make it so I can see everything. And so here right now we're looking at it by employee, but then we don't have necessarily the order we want. So I'm going to go back to the grid, but we got our records, right? So if I run it, I've got 53, right? So that's every appointment by employees. And if I'm sorry, yeah, an employee. So if an employee doesn't have anybody scheduled, they're not going to show up on here, because when you're doing, it's called an inner join. So that means that you have to find a match in both tables for it to show up. So if there's an employee that doesn't have anything scheduled, their name is not going to appear on this query. All right, so sort the results in ascending order by employee last name, ascending, employee first name, ascending, and then the service field, ascending, and then date of appointment descending. Service. Yeah. So the way that this is, it's going to move left to right. So let me explain what's happening here. Let me go over here. So as we move left to right, it's going to sort by employee last name, within by first name. Then within those employees, it's going to do date of appointment, and then within date of appointment, it's going to do service. So if I run this, because it goes left to right, so let's take a look. Lauren, yes, so February, and then within the February 19th date, it's got Lauren, Saturday. So these must be based on the code, even though we're seeing service. So let's do February. Let's go back. Date of appointment descending. Okay, so that's right. And then, okay, so why is that? Service is ascending. All right. So that is correct. It's by employee, then by date, and then by service. And date is newest first. All right, let's save that. QRY, employee appointments. Spell it right, Helen. What? Oh, shoot. Thought I hit the save button. Save. QRY employee PPTS period. Okay. So that one is done. Oh, and that was on page 182. So now we're going to go on to step 13. The manager of, I'm going to close this out, guys. The manager of the spa wants to see all products that are less than $15 so they can plan an upcoming special on the spa's lower priced products. Using query design, create a query that returns product ID, product description, size, category, quantity in stock, and price. Limit the query to only those products with a price less than 15. So that's something we really haven't done yet, is use conditional comparison operators. So that's the equal, less than or equal, less than, greater than or equal, not equal to, and then there's some special ones within Access that we can use. So let's go ahead and start this. We're going to create a query in Design View, and we're going to put product on there because all of this is for products, right? All of that information. So we're going to do product ID, product description, size, category, quantity in stock, and price. So if I run this right now, I get all of them, right? But look, we want to see those that only have a price less than $15. So that's a where clause, right? So we want to see product ID, product description, size, category, quantity in stock, price from table product where price is less than 15. So when I get that where into my question, I'm qualifying what rows I want to return. So I use this criteria row. I find price and I use my comparison operator. So I'm going to do less than 15. And the reason I did less than, under 15 it says. So we don't want to include 15. So let's run it now and I get 11 and look at the prices. They're all under 15. We're going to auto fit and we're going to save QRY low price products and we can close out of that. So we're done with 13 and that was on page 183. We're on to step 14. The manager is happy with the results of the low price product query created, yay, but would like to post a list of products without the prices so she can advertise the list as all under 15. So what we need to do now is modify it, which this is a pretty simple one, right? So we're going to, this is on page 184 and 185. So we got to bring that query back up, right? So products, let's see, query low price products. So let's find that. Query low price products. Ooh, I want to rename that because I don't have a capital P. So I'm going to open this in design view. So we want to keep this query, but we want to modify it and save it under another name. So we're going to do file, before I do anything, save as, save object as, save object as, save as, and now we're going to call this QRY products under 15. So now we have the other one, products under 15, product low price, and then products under 15. So now what we want to do is not show this, right? So that's really what we want to do. So we want to hide this field, but we still need it in there. We can't get rid of it, right? Because it's the thing that's part of the where clause. We need to limit what rows based on price. So we need it still on the grid, but we don't want to show it. So when you don't want to show a field in an answer, you just uncheck the show. That way you can use it, you can sort, you can do different things, but it doesn't display. So let's see, modify, hide the price. Okay, and we already did the save as. And here's the thing, they have you do the save as after. I always do the save as before I make a change because it's so easy to forget and you've made changes and you click on save and then you lose your original. So I always like to open up the original, turn around and rename it, and then start making my changes. So now if I run this, look, you don't see the price column, right? These are just products that are under 15. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I can because I've already renamed it, and I know I'm okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're done with 14. We got step 15. The manager would like to the employee schedule query you created, but she would like it to show the employee's first name first in the query results. So if you put the first name first, then it's going to sort that way, right? So let's go ahead and bring up, well, no, we're going to start from scratch. So create a query in design view. And if we look through this, we've got employee name, first name, last name, and then data service, service, and customer. Same two tables here, right? So that's employee and schedule. So let's do that. And we have to come over here to tables. And we want customer. Nope. I'm wrong. We want employee and we want schedule, and then close. And look, I accidentally put customer. I'm just going to right click and remove that table, and it is fine. So we've got employee and we've got schedule. So now I want to bring these fields. So first name, last name, employee, let's see, date of appointment, service, and customer. Okay, so sort the results in order by last name and then employee first name. Well, if I put the sort on here, right, what's to the left? Employee first name. So if I run it, we've got Alex, Amanda, Elizabeth, right? Which is okay up to a point if you don't have people with the same name, first name as last name, but that's highly unlikely, and it's sorted by their first name. That's really not what you want. So how do we counteract that? We want to add in employee last name again. So I want it to go at the very beginning. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of double clicking, I'm going to click on it and drag it and put it right there. See how it's got the plus sign? I'm going to let go. It puts employee last name. I'm going to take the sort off of that, add the sort here. And now if I run it right, I've got last name, first name, last name. But look, it's sorted correctly. So I know it's sorted correctly, and I don't want to show this this last name, but I need it there because Access sorts left to right. If I run, it's still in order by last name, but I see their first name first on the list. So then I'm going to save this, QRY employee sort, and I am good. And then this is done, and it was on page 184, 185. And then we have really one more, and I know this movie's gone long, but so step number 16. Let's read this. One of the spa workers has created a purchase record without specifying that the order was placed in person. You can select any records that have no value in a field using the is null criteria. Null is the absence of any value, and it is different from a blank or a zero. Using query design, create a query using table purchase and table customer. Add purchase type, purchase date from purchase, and customer name and customer last name from customer. Add the appropriate criterion so only the records with purchase type blank are returned. So let's see. So that would be on page 186. So let's start that. We're going to create a query in Design View. We're going to pick purchase. So I'm in queries here. This might throw you out. So go over to tables. Purchase and customer. I open up my grids. I pull up my grid. I open up my tables, pull up my grid. Add purchase type, purchase date, and customer first name, customer last name, right? So if I do this right now, I get everybody, but look, there's one here that doesn't have a purchase type. So rather than look through the list and try and find it, I want to just narrow it down to those that have no purchase type. So that's a where clause, right? So I'm saying, hey, show me purchase type, purchase date from the table purchase, and customer first name and customer last name from customer where purchase type is null or doesn't exist. So that where to my question puts us in this criteria row. And I'm just going to type is null tab. That is a criteria, and that means show me the where there is an absence of anything in purchase type. And there's my one Omar, right? So we're going to change this to person because we were able to find the problem and fix it. I have a pencil, click off of it. We're going to save the query, QRY null purchase type. Okay, close it. And then when I run this again, so null, I should get nobody, right? Because we fixed that one. So nothing should come up null. So everything's good. All right, so we finished 16 and we are done with this, but not done with the chapter, right? So this is just part A. There's part B and C yet. All right, so submit this back to your, back to here, right? So you're going to choose your file, make sure you have it closed, and then submit from grade. All right, thank you.